Hey everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and I am excited to bring you this really awesome topic. And it's kind of about, Q4 and tips to get sales. So I have 5 tips for you and kind of just some information about Q4 and KDP and low content books. So if you like that sort of information, please like and subscribe to my channel. But I promise you these 5 tips and the information I have to go with these are really great, and it's really going to help your not only your Q4 sales, but also just your KDP business overall. Okay, so what I want to do is I actually have these little pop-ups here. So first I want to talk about KDP and how KDP is going. So it's October right now of 2021, and you might be thinking, I'm not getting sales. Where are all these Q4 sales that everyone promised? Well, I want you to know that in the US, KDP sales, unless it's Halloween specific, they do tend to, the Christmas and the buying and the presents tends to start in November. So November to December is really the big present Christmas type months for the US. Now, that being said, the interesting thing is that in the UK, I have found that sales start to pick up in the October timeframe. So you definitely want to, if you're doing some ads and you're doing them in the UK and you tend to sell books in the UK, it's going to start picking up here. I've actually noticed my books, I have a few that do really well in the UK, and they're starting to pick up. So last night I went in and put a bunch of ads, and I kind of revamped my ads for those books and changed everything to really focus on that Q4 market and trying to hit it while it's just starting. So I wanted to kind of get in there and start getting my book out in front of people. All right, so now let's go to those 5 tips. Okay, so if you're in the US market, actually, if you're in any market, these are going to help for anything as far as Q4 goes and just your Q4, your KDP business. All right, so I have these banners, and the first one you're not going to think is that exciting. It is know your audience and niche. I know I can't actually emphasize this enough to people. Everyone just wants to jump on KDP and make, some sort of notebook. All right. Well, the notebook in a bookstore, if you have this beautiful cover, can be found because a bookstore has a place to just put it. It can be seen. But in the Amazon marketplace, that is not how you get found. You get found by a search engine, basically an algorithm, a computer. Okay. It is not, the humans made obviously the algorithm, but the algorithm is just following the directions. Okay. And it is not going to pick something based off of pretty. It is going to pick something based off of what the customer typed in for their search and keywords and how many sales that, how many looks that page has got, how many sales that page has gotten for looks, and it's going, and the BSR and all the other things, right? So you have to, I don't want to say this, but you have to think like a computer. You have to think a little bit more drilled down. So that's why knowing your audience or niche will help, because yes, a human types what they are looking for into Amazon, into the search bar. So you have to understand that mindset. You have to use your brain, you have to do research. You have to understand the keywords and the types and things that they would put into that search bar. Pretty is going to get yours purchased, but is not necessarily going to get it found. So the first thing you need to do is get your product found. Okay. And that is starting with number, which is knowing your audience and niche and understanding what they would type into the search bar to find it. All right. So number 2 is quite like number 1, but it is what I call niche down and my rule of 3. Okay. I have this rule of 3 whenever I publish a book, I at least have 3 things I drill down on. So the rule of 3, the first one, and if you've been on my channel, you've heard this, but I can't emphasize it enough because I think people it's hard to get. And until you get it, you don't get it. So I like to repeat it over and over and over again. Your book is supposed to solve somebody's problem. And to do that, it needs to drill down and basically talk to that person so it can solve their problem. So let's talk about the rule of 3. So the first, number 1, is interior. Decide what your interior is going to be. Coloring book, log book, notebook, whatever your interior is going to be. Number 2, I pick a niche. Okay, so and then number 3 is I pick a sub niche, and I could even have a fourth. So let me give you some examples before you're like, I don't get that, because I understand. So I have 2 examples. The first one is coloring books, right? So number 1, I've picked my interior. I'm picking a coloring book. Okay, number 2, I'm going to niche down. I'm going to focus on, because I want to do this quickly, or because my drawing skills aren't great, or I have a package of photos or something, or drawings for coloring pages, I'm going to focus on kids 3 to 5. Kids 3 to 5, and this comes back to, right, know your niche. Kids 3 to 5 are going to have a very simple thing that they want to color, right? It's not going to be very complex. There's not going to be mandalas. It's going to be very simple line drawing, right? Kids 3 to 5. So my niche down again, my sub niche is dinosaurs. Okay, so kids who are 3 to 5 who like dinosaurs, right? So that's my rule of 3. And you could even focus down maybe a little more. You could put boys who like dinosaurs, boys instead of kids. It's kids, boys 3 to 5 who like dinosaurs. But honestly, I would probably, with that age group, just stick to kids 3 to 5, dinosaurs. Now, you could kind of do this a little different. You could say coloring book, dinosaurs, kids 3 to 5. It's still the rule of 3, no matter how you got there. You still have all those niches and a sub niche. Okay, so another example. So my second example is, what was it? It's a logbook. Sorry, looking at my notes. So it's a logbook. So our interior, number 1, is a logbook. Number 2, I decided to do a mileage book. Okay, good. Mileage logbook, great. All right, my third niche is or sub niche of that niche, the third drill down, is going to be teens who are just learning to drive. So in the US and probably other places too, teens have to log how many hours they've driven in the day and the night, and it depends on the state. And there's all these different rules depending on the state and sort of thing. But they have to log how many hours they've driven and then turn the record. Okay, so that's my sub niche of mileage log. It's focused on teen drivers before they get their license, the logging their miles. And so I would do some research to see what the different things were out there. And then I actually have a fourth niche on this, or fourth sub niche, I guess, fourth level, which would be girls or boys. So you could focus your cover specifically on teen girls who are just getting their license and need a mileage book to get their hours for driving, right? So those are in that sense, I would have 4. You could have the logbook, right? Mileage, focusing on teens who are getting their driver's license and need to log hours. And then the fourth would be girls. And then you could have another one, boys, right? So that's my rule of 3. It's really important that you drill down and focus on solving a specific audience problem. This is the secret. Because if you can't do this, your audience can't find you, because they don't know that your random notebook that has a car on it is for a teen driver, okay? Unless you specifically have that in your title, your subtitle, your keywords, right? You need to solve a specific problem. All right, let me go to the next one. Number 3. Is your cover, description, and interior aligned? And this may seem very obvious, but it doesn't happen all the time. I actually... and this maybe goes back to knowing your niche, right? Some of these just kind of come from the same thing. I saw a book online in a specific niche that I'm in, that when I look through their look inside, yeah, they didn't know what they were talking about. Their cover was fine, their description was fine, but their interior did not match. Okay, it was not what that customer would have wanted. And not surprisingly, they had a lot of bad reviews, because the interior, while it was fine, it was a planner, but it didn't focus on what that person who had purchased it thought it was going to focus on. That, the graphics weren't right, the wording wasn't correct, it wasn't right. Okay, so you need to make sure that you have everything that you're trying to do with your book, which really, there's only 3 things. You have a cover, you have a description, and you have an interior. You want to make sure all of those match what your audience is looking for. Okay, let's do number 4. A+ content. Have you created and done your A+ content, right? That's those extra pictures that you can do for your book. Super important. I think this is going to be really great to really help. I know everyone's always worried about that look inside. Well, forget it. Now you don't have to worry about the look inside. You can create A+ content and give your audience on that product page a few pictures of what the interior looks like. Because remember, look inside doesn't work on all mobile phones. It does not work on the app. I actually look at mine through the internet on my phone. So my look inside does work on my phone, but that's because I'm not looking through the app. And a lot of people are purchasing things on apps through their mobile device. Okay. So forget look inside. I mean, yes, it's good to have, always, try and get it, but the A+ content is your way around that. And it is something that you can do. You just have to spend a little bit of time to, create the marketing materials and get them uploaded to KDP. I have other videos. If you want to check that out, you can check. I have a KDP. I have like 2 videos out there on how to do KDP A+ content marketing. Okay. So the next one is, all right, are you running ads? Number 5, are you running ads? Because ads will help you get seen. It is not the end all be all. And I have to say that some of my ads don't necessarily work. And that's okay. I could spend some time figuring them out, maybe why they didn't work and why they didn't. But sometimes it either comes to luck or persistence. If I'm willing to spend enough money and enough time, I probably could get any ad working, but it may or may not be worth my time or my effort. So it just kind of, you've got to decide that for yourself. But ads are a way to get you noticed. My next video, this is coming out today on Tuesday. What is today? The 19th. Tomorrow, my normal Wednesday time, I'm actually going over ads. Okay, so I have some great Q4 AMS, Amazon advertising ad tips. So I want you to make sure and tune in for that. But yeah, are you running ads? That is one way to definitely pick up your marketing and getting your book seen and out there, because people are buying during the Q4 season. And if they're not as picky. Sometimes, especially as the closer and closer the holidays get, they will just throw it in the cart because they're desperate and it will arrive on time. So you've really got to, get it out there, because at this point in time, people aren't as picky. And the great thing is you can start to pick up some sales for your book. And then if your book is a good book and you've done all the other things that I've listed before, your audience, everything's in alignment, you've sub-niched, you're solving somebody's problem. If you've done all those things and you start to get a BSR because of Christmas, then, later on in the year, if it's an evergreen type book, then you might get sales then too, because you're out there and people have purchased it, and hopefully you've got a few reviews from Christmas. So that definitely will play into it. All right. Well, these were my 5 tips, but wait, before you go, I just want to say, if you haven't, I do have my bootcamp basic course on my website, my link below. You can click on the publishwithashleypodia.com for my website. And if you use free KDP, you can get my initial bootcamp course for free. It's really very beginner. And so I want to get that out there. It is free until 31 October. So use that coupon code and get in there. All right. Well, I was so excited to have you here today. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be seeing you on my next video, which is going to be about Amazon advertising and doing ads, right? Doesn't everyone want to know that? All right. I will see you then. Bye.